What's going on, guys? This is Shady of Lightning back with another Digimon Adventure Tri review, and today I'm going to be reviewing episode 4. Now guys, Tai finally has his goggles back. It's been far too long since he last time had his goggles. I think the last time when he had it was when he gave his goggles to Davis at the start of Digimon Adventure 02. And let's be honest, it didn't look right. Tai, the charismatic leader, the guy that we all look up to, the big brother figure of the series, the captain, he should be wearing his goggles. Every Digimon series, new series, always has a different goggle head, and Ty's the poster boy of Digimon. If he doesn't have his goggles, I'm sorry, it's just not right. And Izzy, he added a few little moderations, to the goggles. But I'll go into detail with that later. But for now, I just want to give you guys a little brief overview on what happened in this episode. So far, the crew have been walking around Tokyo looking for the distortions of space. Now, the distortions of space I've explained in the previous episode, but it's basically Digimon are going through the distortions of space into the real world. And Izzy gave a little upgrade to the goggles, and Tai is now able to see the distortions of space within his goggles. When he's looking through his goggles, if there's a really dark coloring of red, most likely that's a distortion of space, and chances are a mutated Digimon is going to come out of there, as we see in the first few episodes with Kawagumon. Now, we see Sora. Now, guys, Sora really showed a different side to her. She showed a lot of love and compassion. I know that's what she is, that's her crest, but Sora is a very, very reserved character. Now, guys, in this episode, there was the full introduction of Mako. Mako is the very shy, timid, almost Ken-like personality. She's very, very, very introverted. And Sora, being the loving, caring girl that she is, goes up to her and she more or less takes her under her wing and, just shows her around town, just being the big sister / role model for Mako, which really has shown the development that Sora has gone through. Because back in the day in the original series, she was kind of like a strict mom. She was more of a nagging type of person rather than the compassionate, loving person, which really shows. Also, I want to point out is that each of the episodes, Adventure Tri Episode 2, Episode 3, and now Episode 4, each of the Digidestined has shown fully their crest characteristics. Like Tai in Episode 2, when he was going through looking for Kawagumon, which shows his bravery, hence the crest of courage. Izzy in the Episode 3, figuring out how to create his own cyberspace and keeping all the Digimon, safe in that world, showing his knowledge, hence the crest of knowledge. And in this episode, Sora showing her love and compassion, and just being overall really friendly and awesome to more or less a complete stranger. I don't think she knows her that well. She doesn't know her like the other Digidestined, does she? Also, other thing that happens is Matt actually acknowledges Tai as a leader. Now, guys, in the Ferris wheel, when they were inside the Ferris wheel, he reminded me so much of Zoro from One Piece as the first mate to the captain. You know how Luffy might sometimes have his doubts? Zoro would be the guy who's, Luffy, we need you to pull through. Who are we going to look up to if you're not pushing through? This is almost exact same as Matt and Tai. Matt is basically more or less saying to Tai, you need to pull your weight. You need to push on through, because similar to in the original series, when Tai went back to the real world and everyone was stuck in the digital world, the group collapsed. Everyone went their own separate ways. And I think that's what Matt is basically trying to say to Tai, is that the group needs him. He is the figurehead. He is the spearhead of this crew. And if he is not pulling up his weight, then, they will never be enemies. Later on, we see Alphamon, but future enemies, we don't know. Myosman may come back. We don't know, but it's just that Tai should be, Tai should be feeling a little bit more confident. But speaking of Tai, he's been having major doubts about himself personally and just whether to fight the Digimon. I'll go into detail with that later, but first I want to just tell you the rest of the episode. Now, there have been a few little references to the older Digimon movies, especially when Alphamon came to the real world. He more or less came out of the sky, almost basically with those distortions of space. It was very, very similar to the earlier movies when Parrotmon came to the real world, when there was a giant egg up in the sky. It was a really nice reference, and I really enjoyed it. And however, speaking of Alphamon, wow. That guy, he complete badass. He was very, very, I'm referencing One Piece again, but it's more or less the same. How Kizaru appeared in Shabodi and just literally bit-slapping all the supernovas. That's what Alphamon is doing. He hasn't even taken a step. He didn't even move. War Greymon and Metal Garurumon, Megas, are trying to attacking him. They didn't do nothing. All the champions, they didn't even make him scratch. He's not even taking it seriously. Alphamon, I bet he's just there just to observe. But then we see Omnimon. Wow. What I would like to say is, when Omnimon went toe-to-toe with Alphamon, I'm not gonna lie, it was goosebump heavy. It was like, shit. But the thing is, even when Alphamon was fighting against Omnimon, I don't think he was taking it seriously. I think Omnimon was going at his max. I think Alphamon, this is just me speculating, I think Alphamon was taking it maybe 70% the fight seriously. I don't think he cared. All he was doing was basically observing through the whole distortions of space. I think he was trying to maybe mutate Omnimon in some ways, seeing if there's a weak spot where he can mutate him and basically get him back to the Royal Knights and make him be under his command. I don't know, maybe that theory is just a little bit out there, but let me know what you guys think. Is Alphamon the main reason why all the Digimons are being mutated? Let me know. But what I really want to talk about is Tai. Now, Tai is at the point of his life where he's very, very confused. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's 17. He needs to look for a career. As Mr. Nishijima said, what are you doing? What do you want to do with your life? Like, do you have a general idea? Tai, I'm not too sure. He doesn't really know what to do. And I think that has a major stress value on Tai. Because he's 17. He's becoming an adult, more or less. And, he needs to, pull his way up for his family. He needs to make money. He needs to look after his sister. I'm pretty sure, like, all that pressure is really getting to him. And that's why he's acting very, very anxious during the battles with Kawagumon and etc, etc. Tai himself, in the first wheel with Matt, he also admitted that he's not the same guy. He thinks more but acts less. Tai in the original series isn't like that. He was more of a doer than thinker. Like, when he was charging at Etemon, he didn't think. He was like, he didn't give a shit. He just went up there, screw it, let's see what happens. Even Devimon, he sees Devimon up there, he says, we have to defeat Devimon. That's the only way we can escape through Fire Island. We need to defeat Devimon now. Again, see, no thinking, literally gung-ho, do it. Tai having doubts in this episode really is out of character, and you can argue it's okay. He should be having this because he's going through a very stressful time in his life right now of what he wants to do, but he's not him. A similar thing happened to Davis, where in Adventure 02, where the episode title was called Storm of Friendship, where Davis, all the previous episodes, was gung-ho. Let's go take down Ken, his Digimon army. Let's take out all the Control Spires. And suddenly, in this one episode, he was having doubts. He didn't even want to lift up the Digi-Ego friendship. He didn't know what to do. He didn't even want to attack Ken. Everyone was saying, what's wrong with you? Go attack. Why are you hesitating for? Davis is like, I don't know. Why am I hesitating for? He doesn't know what to do. And later on, during the series, it was never addressed again. I had that. What was the point of it? It was just needless. It was just, the writers were just pushing it just for the sake of drama. I didn't think it was necessary. And it was way out of Davis's character. And Davis and Tai, they're guys who they don't think. That's what's so great about them. They're very, very carefree and laid back. So Tai thinking, what's right and what's wrong. In the original series, when Skull Greymon appeared, he had that development then. He knew what was right and what was wrong then, when he was force-feeding Agumon. Agumon, you need to evolve right now into an ultimate. Right now. Whenever Agumon, he became fat and overweight, and after when he became Greymon, he couldn't even attack, and then he became Skull Greymon. And then Tai was like, whoa, I've done something wrong. I shouldn't have done this. It's my fault. I'm really sorry. That just shows Tai at that age, at the age of 11 no less, he knew what was right and what was wrong, and he held his hands up and said, you know what, I messed up, I'm sorry guys, let's just move on from this. He had that development then. Also in the Dark Masters arc, he was thinking, oh, am I really so cold-blooded? Am I pushing the crew too far? Again, he had that development then as well. He already had that development, so I'm saying, what I'm trying to say is basically, there was no need for Tai to having this moral dilemma. He already knows what was right and what was wrong. He already had the leader. He had the characteristics of a leader already at the age of 11. And now at the age of 17, he shouldn't be affected by this. I'd rather see Joe having this moral dilemma, because let's face it, Joro for me has always been in the grey line of cowardly and brave. There were episodes where Mega Seedramon came in and Joe was terrified, but he sees TK and he's like, he's shitting himself. He doesn't know what to do, but he goes and saves TK. That's what I'm saying. He's always in the borderline of, I'm very cowardly, but then he goes saves TK, which is high level of braveness. And not only that, I think it should be Joe, because Joe was in the original adventure series. We see Joe, like, he's very conflicted. Like, you can tell from his dad is basically, it seems like his dad is forcing him to be a doctor. He doesn't look very cheerful about it, if you know what I mean. And I think this is the perfect time to address that little issue instead of making him think, oh, should I study and pass my exams, or should I save the world with my friends? I know it might be studying exams and saving the world. What? But I still think, it should have been Joe instead of Ty. That's just it's not a rant. It's still a minor little nitpick, but I got a guest with me, Mr. Dimsy's Domain. What do you like to say?
First things first, I'm not a guest. Secondly, and it was a rant. That most definitely was a rant. So, about the episode, what can I say? When I saw the goggles, when I saw Ty with the goggles, I marked out. I was like, wow. And I've said it before and I'll say it once again. It shows the evolution, the nod to technology evolving in modern times, how they integrated the detector in Ty's goggles, somewhat similar to The Flash, if you watch The Flash. And since Shady did mention, Ty was being calculating, but as this is his first time, whilst also having other things on his head, such as careers or what's my life, how am I going to move forward in my life? How am I going to progress? Everyone is going ahead of me. Everyone is surpassing me. I was always the one who's spearheading. Now I'm at the back. I have no purpose. I can't pursue anything because I don't have a end point. In this way, it's understandable for why Ty is going to hesitate. Also, he wants to show more of a brotherly sibling responsibility, where his mother and Kari were always looking after him. And yeah, he showed, as I said in the second episode, where he told Hikari, look, don't come, it's nothing. He was looking out for her. So he's trying to find a way to look out for everyone else, but at the same time, he needs to know there's a time and place where you're like, you know what, things have to be done. There's going to be collateral damage if it's in terms of the structure, the buildings, whatever. The foe ahead of us has to be defeated right here, right now, or it's going to get worse later on. So I agree with Shady, because we did have a little discussion beforehand. The force feeding Ty this PTSD little arc, his little depression, self-doubt mentality, for him to overcome it later. So we have to remember, this is the first movie. So in the next few movies, we're going to see the old Ty. Mark my words, we will see the Ty that we're used to. The Ty that is going to lead everyone. The Ty that is going to put himself forward before thinking maybe. So don't worry about that. Don't get too hung up upon the fact that why is Ty hesitating. One thing I must say about this last quadrant of the movie, it was somewhat frustrating to see Ty's character development. Now about Alphamon. Although Alphamon was very epic in the way he destroyed everyone, is it me, or was I the only one who was a little bit disappointed that in terms of his character design, the actual artwork, the animation put forward into him wasn't done as well? For example, his color scheme was somewhat too solid. There's no shine, there's no variation in the color as there was in terms of, for example, Greymon or Kuwagomon. But maybe that's just me being a bit too nitpicky. I have to be grateful because the animation in general was excellent. The artwork in general was excellent. One thing I think most people will overlook is how excellent and really good this new voice cast have performed. They have never done Digimon before. These guys are new. They're completely new, and look how well they did it. It felt completely normal. As a person who's watched the dubbed more than the sub, although I have watched the sub, Shady has watched both profusely, but we easily adapted to this new Digimon movie. So what more is there to say? I'm proud of Digimon, and I'm proud of everything that's been achieved in this first movie. I want to quickly give a shout out to Olive Boy, who's going to give his review, who also has very interesting thoughts on this movie. And make sure to check this guy out, because mark my words, he is going to be the next big DigiTuber. And yeah, you should subscribe to the guy. And once again, at the end of this, I know it's been quite a long video. I'll let Shady close it off, but check out the last card where we got the thumbnails for each of the other videos for Digimon. So make sure to check them out, because I think they were good reviews. If you did miss a review in the first place, I know this has been a very overwhelmingly long video. So Shady, do you have anything else to say?
I know I've been going on too much, but guys, please don't kill me with the whole Ty thing. It literally is a little minor nitpick. All I'm saying is that I prefer Joe having the moral conflict over Ty. But overall, this movie so far, 9 out of 10. I loved it. the animation, everything, it was brilliant. It was a joyful to watch. Let me know what you guys think, and just go crazy in the comments, guys. Just say how you feel. If you agree with me with Ty being very, very out of character, fine. If you like this whole, Ty having this anxiety character development ish, that's good for you. If you disagree with me, go ahead, just comment below.
I quickly want to chime in quickly. The next Digimon movie is coming out on April the 2nd, 2016. So we will see you before that, but make sure to come back and see our next 4 quadrant of reviews for Digimon Adventure Tri, and of course Shady will be at the helm. So make sure to subscribe and give the other videos a like, and Shady, please close it off.
Care for nothing.